Okay, here we're going to look at how to calculate the PIP, the potential for improving performance. This is Thomas Gilbert's work from Human Competence Engineering Worthy Performance, and it starts with the first leisurely theorem, which is listed on page 18 of the text. And here he basically says that you can calculate worthy performance by dividing the accomplishment by the costly behavior. The accomplishment is what gets done. The costly behavior most often is time, and that's how you're going to get a number for the worthy performance. And then to calculate the PIP, you calculate the worthy performance of the exemplary performer. You divide that by the worthy performance of the typical performer, and that's going to give you the potential for improving performance. This is from page 30 in the text. Let's look at how to do that. If we look at the job of a teacher, one of their accomplishments is grading papers. The exemplary performer in this case can grade 28 papers in 1 hour, and the typical performer can grade 28 papers in 4 hours. So let's calculate the worthy performance. Accomplishment was 28, costly behavior was 1. For the exemplary performer, their worthy performance is 28. For the typical performer, same accomplishment, a longer amount of time, that equates to 7 for the worthy performance of the typical performer. So then to calculate the PIP, we take the worthy performance of the exemplary, we divide by the worthy performance of the typical, which is 28 by 7, and we get 4. This is a pretty high PIP. This means that if we were able to get that typical performer performing up to the speed of the exemplary, they could be 4 times more efficient. What I want you to notice about this equation right quick is that there aren't any units, papers per hour. We could put that in there, but it's going to be different in every example. And so this is just a way that Gilbert devised to put numbers on things. And in ABA, we understand how important it is to be able to measure, to have values, and to be able to demonstrate performance numerically. And that's what Gilbert was doing. So let's look at another one. Here you can tell I used a different, I still have time, but here I've got percentage. But it still works to calculate a PIP. And this is for a behavior technician. Their accomplishment here would be addressing and documenting specific behavioral objectives. The exemplary performer addresses and documents 100% of the behavioral objectives in that 2-hour visit. But the typical performer is only getting 80% of those behavioral objectives both addressed and documented in that 2-hour visit. So, again, the worthy performance of the exemplary is their accomplishment divided by their costly behavior, 100% divided by 2 hours equals 50. The worthy performance of the typical performer, their accomplishment divided by their time is 40. And to calculate the PIP, the worthy performance of the exemplary divided by the worthy performance of the typical is 1.25. That's not quite as high, but there is still room for improvement. The closer you get to 1, the closer that typical performer is getting to the exemplary performer. The higher the number, the more room there is for improvement, but that also means that the typical performer is way below the exemplary. We really want to work to get everybody as close to a PIP as 1 as we can. That means we've got everybody as close to the exemplary as possible. So that's just a little synopsis of how Thomas Gilbert found a way to put numbers on human performance.